from one sci-fi canon to another.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What did everyone think of
That's
Doctor Who last week? Well, last week it was 2 weeks
Was it
ago,
last
wasn't it?
week?
God, it feels like
Jeez,
it's.
yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was being generous. I thought it was a lot longer ago for a second.
Yeah.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah.
It was alright. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It was just. I consumed.
Yeah.
I just sat.
Consumed.
I didn't like it.
Like,
I'm an ardent Chibnall defender, and I didn't like it.
I thought the next time trailer looked really interesting though,
Yeah.
because actually got Tegan and Grace. Like, let's fucking go.
That's
I
more
was-
exciting than the first Doctor to me. Like,
I was so hyped.
I mean, when was the last time we saw them? Like they're saying 40 years. I'm guessing that was we haven't seen them.
no,
on the screen
we
for
saw him in
that
the Sarah
long.
Jane Adventures episode, didn't we?
They were referenced, I believe.
I thought they were in it with Matt Smith.
No, that's Joe
I think
Grant.
that's just
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
Joe Grant. She
Yeah.
just turns up because they talk about it at the end, like
Yeah, because they're
Google TARDIS.
yeah. And then same with at the end of like the farewell Sarah Jane one that they did in lockdown, where they reference all what's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's sad.
I mean, I didn't love the look of the next time one. I just thought like, yes, Master, yes, Cyberman, yes, Daleks. I was just like a bit, what's new? What have I not seen yet? Like, it was just ticking a checklist. Like, it would be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just a picky little idiot. but-
I'll enjoy it. Like, the issue I found with this one more wasn't like, I think there's probably a good story in there. It was just so rushed. The first 10 minutes, like, I feel like we got shown like 5 different segments of a story, and then we're told to piece them together halfway through.
What I'm really intrigued about is they said originally this was going to be the regeneration story, and so I just don't know where that would have slotted in originally, on if that would have been her sacrifice instead of him coming in and taking over, like in the Timeless Children, pressing the detonation button, or if it would have been something else entirely.
Yeah, he's done that twice now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just seeing her do a backflip with a sword fighting a sea devil was enough for me. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm there for that.
Cause like I enjoyed it, and I think the character development in it was actually good, but like
Yeah.
everything around the story didn't make sense. Like for the whole of the first part, it was about who is this woman who's on this ship and what is she about, and at the end it was, oh, we rescued this guy. That was it. It was
Yeah.
just. I feel like they took. What's annoying is it's a special, so you have to focus on the story more because most people are going to be tuning in because it's like the only thing on this Easter or the only thing on this Christmas, whatever the fuck. So that's the reason they're tuning in.
Yeah.
And what you did is you gave the people who are already watching Doctor Who stuff and the people who weren't, you gave them a shit story. With
Yeah.
like a really nice like monster that they've really fucked up.
I thought they looked very good.
Yeah,
Give
they
them
looked
that.
great, but it was just, I don't know, it was just depressing. I feel like I watched it and I like left halfway through to get my Chinese, and I didn't feel like I missed anything. Which,
Yeah.
you know, Doctor Who's nice for that, where you can actually, if you leave, you're like, oh, okay, I need to know what's going on now. Why are we here?
Yeah, it's like I watched the first 20 minutes and then switched to Britain's Got Talent like later, and I didn't feel I'd had a worse night.
Eh.
Like,
It could have been better if you were watching Britain's Got Talent.
What's interesting
there
with
was nothing else on.
Jodie having the Sea Devils is it makes Capaldi the first new Who Doctor to not have an introduction of a classic villain.
Mondasian Cybermen.
Yeah, but without the Cybermen.
But that's a classic.
Yeah, I'd say
That's
less
a
so.
classic villain.
The Ice Monsters was Smith.
Ice
right?
Warriors, yeah, in Cold War.
Yeah, Warriors. Yeah, I keep on thinking it's the bloody Empress of Mars one. No, you're right about that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, Montasian Cybermen are really the only one you can.
You have an argument
then, it's
there,
like-
but no.
It's fine.
I will give the special some credit there in regards to like, I know when it was like Chibnall set out with his mission statement for Azira, like he wanted to make it like a kind of a history show, a learning show again. Like actually kids would learn some stuff, and I just knew that if I'd seen that when I was like 10 and saw like, oh, this is this fucking cool historical period, that would have been my next obsession as a kid.
Yeah.
That would have been the next big period I've been reading about, and I love that. I don't like Chibnall's era, but he's always done like interesting periods of history. Like I love that. Like that's something that's, if this was his last time he was going to get to do it, then that was a really cool period to like do one of those.
What's interesting is I think he's also really managed to develop that into like how he balances the show, and it's really illustrated with Flux, because in the first series it was just like, oh, here's Rosa Parks, or like, you know, what was the Demons of Punjab? It was India, but I don't remember the actual subject.
Here's Nikola Tesla.
No, the one.
I can't remember the Demons of the Punjab one.
That was the middle episode of season 11. It's one of the only good ones that people like from season 11. I like season 11 a lot though. But like he's managed to sort of build that into the sci-fi a lot more, which is why Nikola Tesla was really good, because it's not good. It's sort of like a very middling episode that anyone can sort of watch and go, oh, I learned something, and also this is interesting. With Flux, they managed to do what's her name? The one with the Sontarans. The war with Sontarans.
Mary Seacole.
Yeah.
Mary Seacole.
Something like that. She was like a huge part of it, and you got to learn about her hospitality story, and it's actually interesting and mattered to the story.
And did it through science fiction as well. And
it really worked. Like, you can see his development throughout it, and I think it kind of sucks that I kind of would have loved to see him do another Doctor, because I think he's learnt his lessons through it. But I also, now having seen the second to last episode, there's an editing problem there, but I don't think it saves the episode.
No.
It was just not
good.
Good.
I think even if you've got extra time, that doesn't add to the whole...
It just sort of paces it better, but I think it's still structured poorly.
But they have announced Fugitive Doctor Big Finish,
which is great.
Yes.
Yeah. Although that kind of confirms that we won't get a full series with her televised.
True.
Oh, we never would.
I know, but I was holding out hope.
It's never going to happen.
Like,
unless if it's fucking like one of those animated things they put before Blue Peter, then, or during, then no, it's never ever going to happen. I'm sorry.
We also got Doctor Who Redacted from the BBC.
Yeah.
And that is so good. Like, some of the best Doctor Who I think we've seen in years. Or heard in years. It's doing something weird where, like, I knew it was going to do, like, LGBT issues, because LGBTQ plus whatever issues, because it's written by Juno Dawson. She's a huge trans activist. It has a LGBT cast. It's very well diverse, but the fact that we're doing so much to bridge a gap from 3 different eras that has just been missing, and like that is its main mission statement at the moment. Like, Rani's a main character in this, and we've not seen her since what, Journey's End. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, and like we're getting to know the ends of stories. I'm worried about Graham still. What's happened to him?
He's disappeared.
Why? It's so good. Like,
what is the premise of it? Because I haven't listened to any of it. I've got it on like a backlog. I'll get to it. But like, what is it? Like, tell me, what's the story? Like.
So I've only listened to the first episode, but it seems like it's these 3 podcasters, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is it they run a specific Blue Box?
Blue Box podcast.
Yeah. and the Doctor, like, so they just kind of like investigate things, and then it's like the Doctor's actually being erased from history for some reason, and so like they're getting calls on their phones about like from the Doctor not realizing that it's them. Then it's all like alluding to all these different things, and so it's them like speaking to characters from like Russell T Davies era show like episodes, and like side characters. Like what was the one in the first one? The because it was a sequel to the Adipose Partners in Crime.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? And then the journalist.
Oh wow, really?
You know the journalist that keeps getting like tied up. They that
What?
yeah.
That's
They didn't get
interesting, 'cause that's a
the
deep
actress
cut.
back, but
No.
The character.
Yeah.
What's
That's quite
really
fun.
interesting, you know, in Smith and Jones, the doctor that is like friends with Martha.
The one who then is in Turn Left
Yeah.
as well.
He
Yeah, him.
is in this as well. For some
love
reason,
it.
like
I
he
love
was
it.
in the latest episode talking about like how the hospital went to the moon, but he doesn't remember it now. Like it's erasing parts of history where the Doctor existed, and it's clearly trying to explain away how people don't remember stuff from like different areas, which is
Yeah.
really well done, because I think that makes so much more sense to do it that way than to have people be like, why isn't this referenced in the main show? But it's so present in how we're doing the Doctor Who conspiracy, which feels like we just left in rows and never thought about again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit with Linda,
A little
but
bit.
we don't talk about that.
no, I love it.
Like,
I love it so much.
They also reference Linda.
do they really? Jeez, that's. Do you think they could get Elton back?
They could.
Because if they got Elton back, then I'd listen to this immediately.
I know Kate Bishop shows up in it at some point, supposedly. I think she's cast. Also, the Silurian that Moffat had that was the lesbian.
Oh, Vastra?
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
the
she's
Paternoster
in.
gang, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
That's
going to be in
quite
it
fun.
as well. Which, like, it's bridging a gap that we very clearly needed bridging at some point, and because Russell's coming back, like, it feels like a good clean slate to sort of lump these three in as a big era of television, and hopefully Chris Chibnall sticks the landing with the finale because of it. I really need that.
Yeah. If you could have like one character come back for this, like a pick, who would you want?
For the
For
centenary.
For the redacted, yeah. No, for the redacted,
Oh.
yeah. I'd have Adam.
What, from Torchwood?
Because that's that. No, from
Oh, series 1.
Well, that's fun too. I meant from series 1.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to know what that guy's up to. Just like.
That'd be interesting. Oh, I don't know.
Either that or the mayoral assistant to Margaret Blaine when she was mayor of Cardiff. Just she's having a cup of tea. And he just tackles Eccleston. It's just like, leave the mayor alone. Just I love that man. I need his take on what's happened since.
She's running out the window, isn't she? Yes.
Did the master's wife die? Well, because she sacrificed herself,
Yeah.
but I thought she ran away. Is my headcanon.
She blew
yeah.
up, I think.
Was she in the Blue Man Group?
That wasn't a good joke. That was me.
Yeah,
That was
that's
that
quite-
was
I
that
thought it
was
quite funny for her because I thought it was quite funny.
that was
I'm upset because if it was me, I'd be on the floor.
that just depressed me. Can't believe
Good.
you.
Good. I'm glad. But something that I really like with Redacted is that because it's just freely available on BBC Sounds, is that it can get a lot more people into like the audio stuff. Because I know, like as a kid, that got me a lot more into reading. It was like, oh, it's Doctor Who, so I'm like interested in the story, and then you don't really think about the fact that it's a book, and then you're then like, oh, I just like reading books now.
Yeah.
And so I think it's
Yeah.
also hopefully going to do the same for a lot of people. And the fact of like, especially with how amazingly inclusive and fantastic the cast and like having all the writers and everything on that front is amazing, because the people who would be opposed to that can't even go, oh, it's just there for no reason. There's like not even a good, like, because the story is incredible. It's like a fucking incredible, really interesting story, and so it's just amazing that it's all coming together and actually from the BBC of how, like, just having all of that there. Fucking brilliant.
It's
Yeah.
what's uh it fringes on a point that I don't think we should get into. I think it's a bigger topic that would take longer, but it's part of the whole defund the BBC stuff over like these sorts of issues where like it's clear BBC News and BBC Productions are two very big and separate entities,
Yeah.
because
Very
like
much so.
this is a lot of representation that doesn't get shown in their journalism team.
Mm.
Exactly.
It's so worth it for that sort of, because it's what people will see and what people will listen to.
Yeah.
And I think also, not just with like the defund the BBC stuff, but just with film and TV and everything in general, I think there's a massive miscommunication of why things cost so much money. They just like, why the hell does that film cost 250 million to make or something like that?
Yeah.
Because they just see the headlines of, oh, this actor makes 40 million on this one film, without realizing
Yeah.
the fact that they need to hire the locations, and then they're using like local restaurants and food companies to then feed all the cast and crew.
Yeah.
And then it's like even just when I was the extra last, like in 2020, and that's a tiny scene in the film, but then they had loads of us there. We all then had to go get
Yeah.
hotels, bed and breakfasts, and then they fed us all. They used, like, underneath the costumes, they had us in wetsuits because we were doing like night shoots on the beach, and so they used just the local surf company that was there on the beach, and it just a major boost to the local economy. And so I think a
Yeah.
lot of people just see, oh, this actor made however many million, and just go, oh, fuck off, that's ridiculous. Why are we putting so much money into this, that, and the other, without seeing how incredible it actually all is?